at the bottom, because when life bottoms out, we tend to do a lot of learning there, maybe even more so than when life is really going well. I used to coach football, and it's that idea: learn a lot more when you lose than when you win. And as we go through this, it's important to remember that this is just a process of life. It's not a oh, what's the right word? It's not like something that God inflicts on us. God does not inflict a hard time on us so that we can learn. It's that a hard time happens and God helps us to learn through that. Be the right way to say that. So we're going to take a look at a passage here. This is from the book Secrets of Heaven. And it's talking about this time when kind of the wheels come off. You'll see it referred to theologically here as a time of devastation, a time when things really get, instead of construct, it's a deconstruct time period. All right, it says, all right, at this point in time, what happens? What happens is when people are reduced to a condition of ignorance and tribulation, in order that evils and falsities in them can be detached and seemingly dispelled. People who emerge from this kind of devastation are the ones who are specifically said to be redeemed, because they then learn about the good urged and the truth taught by faith, and the Lord reforms and regenerates them. Now, that's a pretty dense language there, but it's a very simple concept. What happens when life sort of hits the skids and the wheels come off and things really kind of fall apart? We end up bottoming out. And when we're at that point, we can kind of see things a lot more clearly. We can see the things that didn't work that we imagined did. We can see the things that do work. And it tends to be something where we just hold on to like a few real key truths, things that we absolutely know to be true. And we're going to hold on to those because those are going to help us get out. And the clarity, it's hard to describe, friends, but there's definitely a certain clarity around this. I know, just in text messages with our own family, dealing with some things around real serious health issues with family members, etc., and loss of a family member, and it was just interesting, texting with people and talking about it, conversations back and forth. And the thing that you learn at the bottom of that is we come back to that it's really about loving each other. That's it. There's all this stuff, all these worries, all these concerns. But really, at the end of the day, it's about the families love each other. Just that simple and that profound. And that helps us to move through. I think there's a way that we learn that when things are really dark in a very unique way. I'm sure God would prefer that we learn it when we're up here, but that doesn't tend to be the human condition. And it's a quote I give way too much, but I love the quote, and this is a paraphrase, obviously. It's Mark Twain's famous quote: "The man who picks the cat up by the tail learns twice as much as the man who didn't." And and I think there's truth to that, right? We make mistakes. We have all kinds of things that don't work our way. The wheels come off. Sometimes that's about something external. Sometimes that's about something internal. But we really do learn at the bottom of those things, and it's a hard learning. I want to say it is. There is nothing easy about that, and we want to be extremely gracious about that. And if you have a friend or a family member going through that, I think we want to be super careful, being like, wow, there's a lot to learn down here. They're not feeling that. They're just trying to tread water. I don't think we see the lessons until a little bit later on, though we may grasp onto a life ring, so to speak. We may find some little flotation device that'll be small, but it'll just keep us from drowning for the day. So the thought for today, friends, is just if you're in one of those states where you're really feeling sort of bottomed out, or you have a friend or family member, is just remember that God's there too. And there really are things that people learn, and they tend to be just a handful of things. And they tend to be incredibly powerful at that point. And then we move on with them through life, but we'll have them engraved on our hearts in a way that's very unique and very different than something we just learned sort of intellectually up here when life is going well. So with that, dear friends, I hope that makes a lot of sense and adds a little brightness to your day. And what we're going to do now is we're going to shift gears. And we shift gears here at New Church Live. We do a little prayer. We do a little blessing, a little meditation, little blessing, and we'll say hi to friends who've joined us on Facebook. So with that, dear friends, let's get a little breath. meditation. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's take a look and see who has joined us here this morning. Right, there we go. Refresh the page. And let's see who has joined us here. Linda, good morning. Swift journey home for Susan's mom. Thank you. That's very sweet. My dear wife's mother passed away. So that's what we've been sorting through. Thank you for that kind thought there, Linda. It's appreciated. And right, so let's take a look over to here. And Martha writes, good morning over there. So wishing you folks all the very best. God bless you, and we will see you again tomorrow.